Hello and welcome to Camp Xbox. The original Xbox and the 6th generation in general are known for their excellent 3D fighters, like Dead or Alive, Mortal Kombat, and the Soul Calibur series. However, the Xbox has a library of 2D fighting games that are often overlooked. Today I've picked 5 I enjoyed and wanted to discuss. This list is not about the best, but simply some fun choices. I've chosen only 2D sprite-based fighting games, and if there are any games that I have not included that you want to hear about next, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to add them to a sequel list or do a video on 3D fighters. Before we get into it, I want to mention that I am not an expert at fighting games, but I love playing them, especially with some friends. I won't say I've perfected the mechanics of any of these games, but all the games on this list are a good chunk of fun. All footage was captured using the original Xbox hardware, and I want to thank my YouTube channel members for their support. And let's go ahead and hop on into this list. Let's start this list with Capcom vs SNK 2 EO, which was released on Xbox in February of 2003. This game is a collaboration of two legends in the fighting game world, Capcom and SNK. This game features characters from both companies fighting against each other. The roster is extensive, and each character has unique options and abilities. You will be overwhelmed by the character selection screen, which offers a variety of characters from Street Fighter, King of Fighters, Rival Schools, Fatal Fury, and other smaller games. Each character plays differently and brings something unique to the table. Mixing and matching these characters is a blast, and you can find some fantastic combos. The game can be played with a team of 3 fighters, or you can play with just 1 fighter. This game comes with an arcade mode, survival mode, and Xbox Live support. However, I just want to note that most of the games on this list have a limited amount of content game mode-wise. Many are focused on playing online, and this game is no exception. It is supported by Insignia, so you can play it online today. However, if you're not signed up for Insignia, I highly recommend playing this and other games that I'm talking about today with other people. This is especially true for this game because this roster is insane, and the most fun you can get is just selecting random characters with friends and facing off against each other. I love the sprite work on these characters, which have some insane detail and smooth movement. It may seem odd, but I like seeing that every character looks different. It shows that they have come from all other styles of fighting games and have all come together to face off. It makes you feel like it's a colossal compilation title and something bigger. The stages are also gorgeous and have a mix of both SNK and Capcom sensibilities. The backgrounds are 3D and full of life, making it feel dynamic even if you never interact with it. I particularly love the beer drinking background of the American stage in this one. And all of this is displayed in crisp 480p on the Xbox. There's a complexity in this game's systems that you don't see in a lot of other fighting games because it combines a lot of fighting game mechanics. You can choose between various gauges that change how character supers change up and how they are used. This feature is not character specific and will alter the playstyle of all characters. Similarly, there is a 6-button configuration layout that is for all characters, and that changes the playstyle of a lot of the SNK characters, but it's easy to get used to. Additionally, there is a simplified mode available for fighting, which is ideal for those who may not be comfortable with the button layout offered. There is a ratio mode too that allows players to choose who on their team will be the most powerful to gain an edge by placing them in their turn order. Regardless of the mode, the fighting is smooth and fast. Overall, it's an addictive game that's easy to keep playing through the arcade mode repeatedly because the mechanics just feel great. The music in this game is incredibly well done and diverse, just like the character roster. For example, the track Feels Like True Lovemaking is an upbeat vocal pop song, whereas Fight with the Wind is a smooth piano piece mixed with dreamy synths. The diverse range of music keeps the gameplay and stages engaging, making this a very enjoyable fighting game all around. It's one of the most replayable 2D fighters on the system, and well worth checking out. Up next is Guilty Gear X2 Sharp Reload, developed by Arc System Works and published by Sammy Studios. This is the first updated version of X2, and this version was mainly focused on fixing balancing issues and adding more missions. It was released in North America on September 14, 2004. The Guilty Gear series is an insane fighting game series with numerous updates and different games that can be hard to keep track of, but every time I pick one up, it's an incredible time. The game's style is based on heavy metal and rock music, with characters named after famous rock stars, bands, and other music homages. For instance, you have characters like Axl Lowe based on Axl Rose, and Slayer named after the band. If you're a lover of heavy metal or rock music, then this game is perfect for you. The stages in this game have a gothic vibe and feature animations and characters that seem ripped right out of hell. The game takes rock's fun and edgy aesthetics and pushes them to the extreme, resulting in a unique and enjoyable experience. The game's clean and distinctive look is unmatched even today, with each character sprite being easily recognizable and memorable. The game features characters ranging from pirates and demons to rock stars, and it makes it so much fun. The metal soundtrack accompanying the fights is energizing, and it helps elevate the game to another level. It shreds and sets this game apart as something special. Of all the games I'm discussing today, this one has the most comprehensive range of content. This is an excellent option if you're seeking more challenges in your fighting game. Insignia support is available for this game too, so if you got it, you can play it online. However, in addition to that, you can also get a solid story mode. Each character has specific cutscenes, and while it's more like reading a novel between fights, it's all fully voiced. Having a storyline to follow as you battle always helps you stay engaged and eager to beat it to see all of the stories. Of course, you have a simple arcade mode, but the mission mode is a blast to go through as well. This has you going off on fights with characters, and you have to beat them under specific parameters, such as only being able to damage them with supers, or not being able to jump. And then finally there is MOM mode, which has you hitting combos to knock emblems out of opponents to score points. This one is surprisingly fun, and I always spend more time here than anticipated. This wouldn't work though if the combat didn't feel good, but this game is smooth and fast. It rewards being constantly on the offense with a tension gauge, which allows you to pull off super moves if you move towards your opponents or attack them. As somebody who is always attacking and hardly defending, this feels incredibly rewarding to me. The game also makes it easy to hit combos, and it's the type of game that makes you feel like a pro for hitting even the most basic moves. All of the characters move like they pack a punch, and the response from the game makes me want to keep fighting and fighting. It can be brutally fast and devastating, which I absolutely adore in a fighting game. If you're looking for a unique looking 2D fighter on the Xbox that has more modes and things to do, this one is a fantastic choice. The third game I played today is Samurai Shodown V. It was developed by Yuki Enterprise and published by SNK. It came out quite late for the Xbox on January 18th, 2006 in North America. Samurai Shodown is a long-running fighting game franchise, and this particular game is a prequel. In it, you can choose from a variety of fighters who mainly use weapons in their fighting technique. As with other games in the series, the setting is typical of beautiful Japanese locales. As you travel across Japan, you'll see many different places such as bamboo forests, roaring beaches, and cherry blossom trees everywhere. The sprite work in this game is immaculate, and all of the characters look excellent. What's really unique about this is how dynamic the camera is. It's constantly panning in and panning out as you fight, which works exceptionally well with the pacing of the fights, making the game feel cinematic. The music is also fantastic, taking influences from traditional Japanese music, which gives this game an incredible regional feeling. You'll love this game if you're into that kind of thing. The arcade mode in this game is a blend of arcade and story mode, as it features full cutscenes with dialogues between fights. The player follows each character's journey across Japan, and the plot has a great samurai film feel to it. making it very engaging. Besides the versus and online modes, there are no other modes available in this game, making it the game with the least amount of content on this list today. And it currently does not support Insignia, so it can't be played online today. However, putting that aside, I still find this game unique and fun, and the fighting to be quite enjoyable. I really enjoy fighting with all of the characters' weapons in this game. At first glance, it seems more straightforward than most fighting games, and executing combos comes with ease. However, mastering all the techniques reveals the game's depth when everything comes together. Landing multiple sword hits on an enemy can cause significant damage, which reminds me of the PlayStation classic Bushido Blade. The game runs extremely fast and rounds go by quickly. I love the look of the special moves, and the blood on the screen is not as graphic as Mortal Kombat, but it resembles classic samurai films with its blood spraying effects. I'd say Samurai Showdown is the most simplistic fighting game among the bunch today, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It leads to extremely fast fights and makes comboing feel devastating. The game requires quick movements and precise timing to get the correct hit in, and you can go through it quickly with friends. With a wide range of characters to choose from, even with the lack of modes, it's still a game you can play for hours with friends and learn together. Samurai Showdown may be simplistic, but that's an excellent thing for a fighting game, especially if you want to pick it up and learn the mechanics with a buddy.
Perfect.
Before we move on, I want to thank you for watching, and if you're enjoying it, please leave a like as it helps me out in the algorithm, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. But let's go ahead and move on. The following entry may seem like a little bit of a cheat, since my list is only supposed to contain 5 games, but it's a great collection here. I'm talking about Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, which includes both Street Fighter II and Third Strike on a single disc. Capcom developed and published this collection, which was released in North America on February 22nd, 2005. These are both simple yet excellent renditions of the classic games, and they both feature Xbox Live support, and today you can still play them online through Insignia. Let's break it down and start with Street Fighter II, a classic and essential game that has been talked about so much. This game features all the classic characters you know and love, like Ryu, Chun-Li, Dalsum, and many more. All of their moves feel great, and even though it's not as fast-paced as the other games on this list, it still feels fantastic. Hopping around and using the simple, special moves feels perfect for pick up and play. It brings me a lot of nostalgia from playing with my own family growing up. The cool thing about this version is that it allows you to choose characters based on each re-released game version. You can play the original Street Fighter II with only 8 characters, or hop in the Turbo to get more moves. All 5 versions have differences, and they're fun to explore and see what has changed between them. All of the stages look wonderfully vintage and iconic. This game feels like history, and I love seeing every version get some love here. And the music is just as iconic, and it's all around a great classic package. Although this game has received many ports since its release, it's still a solid game to play, especially considering that it's packed in here with Street Fighter III. Street Fighter III is a game I discovered later in life, and it offers a different yet refreshing experience from Street Fighter II. The movements are a lot faster, and it still retains the Street Fighter feel, but it's so fluid. I really love the parry system here, which allows you to block without taking chip damage when timed perfectly, adding a layer of strategy to the gameplay. Overall, it's just a sleek package of a fighting game and stands out as one of the best entries in the series. The game's presentation looks amazing, with fluid character animations adding charm. The unique art design of the characters coupled with the stunning hit effects make the fights look gorgeous and incredibly smooth. The game has a massive variety of locales, and they're all beautifully designed. The music in the game is legendary, with some insanely funky tracks featuring heavy-hitting drums and saxophones. The soundtrack is so much fun, and it adds to the overall enjoyment of the fights. And along with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is a game I want to add to the next list, this game is the epitome of Capcom at its best with fighting game soundtracks. Each stage has a fun and funky track that's an earworm and adds to the overall experience. Only so much more can be said about both of these classic games. They're both extremely addictive and have that Capcom polish that makes them feel smooth. Both are purely arcade games though, so you're not getting much else to do other than fighting with friends, CPU, or online. However, they are two great games that are easy to turn on and play a few fun rounds in, and it's fantastic to have them in one package on the Xbox. The last game on today's list is King of Fighters Neowave, developed and published by SNK Playmore. It was released in North America on April 18th, 2006, making it a very late Xbox release, but in Japan it came out on March 30th of 2006, which was the last Japanese Xbox release. And now here we have another fighting game with a huge roster of characters. I really enjoy having many options to choose from, which adds an exciting random factor to the game whenever I go in and just want to pick a few fun characters. This game allows players to select a team of fighters or a single fighter to play through the arcade mode. Although I prefer playing with 3-player teams, one-on-one fights offer much faster gameplay. I've always felt that the mechanics in this game are more methodical compared to other 2D fighters, especially on this list, but that's not a negative aspect. It allows you to be more strategic and encourages you to think about the combos and special moves you're pulling off. The game does this very well, and I love that there are many special moves available for each character, making them all interesting in their own way. Additionally, you can choose between different special gauges to vary your experience and tailor it to your playstyle. Each gauge mode has either 3, 2, or 1 bars, and each has variations on how you can pull off special moves. For instance, the 1 bar mode only allows you to use your max special move when you're at low health. This is an exciting way to handle super moves, and I love the variety that it brings to the game. I will say this package is not very expansive in terms of content once again, but it does feature an excellent endless fighting mode. In this mode you can fight character after character with your health going up marginally between fights. Personally, this mode allowed me to really improve my skills as a player in this game. This game also has Xbox Live support, but it doesn't have Insignia support yet. The sleek character art stands out amongst other titles we're discussing today. The characters move very fluidly and pop out against the backgrounds. The stage backgrounds have a more industrial feel, and I love how many things move in the background, such as trains moving towards you. A neat feature of this game is the transitions between stages. For example, from round 1 to round 2, you might change to a similar feeling, but different type of location. Or it might even change from daytime to nighttime. This is an excellent way to keep every stage feeling varied and fun to look at while playing. The music in this game is a nice jazzy mix that sounds like it was taken from an anime original soundtrack. It's punchy and has a classic feeling that works well with the game's tone. King of Fighters Neowave is another fun title from SNK on the original Xbox. It looks and sounds excellent. The fighting is thoughtful and there is character variety. It's one of those fighting games that is a great all-around package and is just fun at its core. If you're looking for a really fun game with your friends to play for hours on end, this is another solid choice. But that does wrap it up for these 5 2D fighting games on the Xbox. All have strengths that are well worth checking out if you're interested. And once again, I'm not a fighting game expert, but these were a ton of fun to play through. Let me know what I should talk about next, and maybe I'll do one on 3D fighters as well. Also, let me know in the comments your thoughts on any of these games. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to keep up with the retro Xbox content. And I want to give a huge shout out to my YouTube channel members. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you here next time at Camp Xbox.